Good morning. We are in A Course in Miracles workbook for students. My glasses are fogging up. And today we are on lesson 24. I do not perceive my own best interests. If we could please close our eyes and start with a prayer. Dear Father, if left to my own devices, my perception will be skewed. I surrender to you everything that I think and feel. God, please take my past, plan my future, send your spirit to redeem my mind that I might be set free. May I be your channel, God, and serve the world. May I become who you would have me be, do what you would have me do, go where you would have me go, and say what you would have me say, and to whom, dear God. Thank you. Amen. All right, so I'm changing up the format a little bit, so we'll see how this goes. Forget not that you came this far together, you and your brother, and it was surely not the ego that led you here. No obstacle to peace can be surmounted through its help, the ego's help. It does not open up its secrets and bid you look on them and go beyond them. It would not have you see its weakness and learn it has no power to keep you from the truth. The guide who, and the guide and who are capitalized, the guide who brought you here remains with you. And when you raise your eyes, you will be ready to look on terror with no fear at all. But first lift up your eyes and look on your brother, in innocence born of complete forgiveness of his illusions, and through the eyes of faith that sees them not. See, it doesn't matter where you go in this book, it's just absolutely beautiful. And that was a random page. Chapter 19, the attainment of peace. Section I, the lifting of the veil, paragraph 8. Beautiful. Okay, so here we are. 24. I do not perceive my own best interests. In no situation that arises do you realize the outcome would make you happy. Therefore, you have no guide to appropriate action and no way of judging the result. What you do is determined by your perception of the situation, and that perception is wrong. It is inevitable, then, that you will not serve your own best interests. Yet, they are your only goal in any situation which is correctly perceived. Otherwise, you will not recognize what they are. If you realized that you do not perceive your own best interests, you could be taught what they are. But in the presence of your conviction that you do know what they are, you cannot learn. The idea for today is a step toward opening your mind so that learning can begin. The exercises for today require much more honesty than you are accustomed to using. A few subjects, honestly and carefully considered in each of the 5 practice periods which should be undertaken today, will be more helpful than a more cursory examination of a large number. So 2 minutes are suggested for each of the mind-searching periods in which the exercises involve. The practice periods should begin with repeating today's idea, I do not perceive my own best interests, followed by searching the mind with closed eyes for unresolved situations about which you are currently concerned. The emphasis should be on uncovering the outcome that you want. So the emphasis should be on uncovering the outcome you want. So you will quickly realize that you have a number of goals in mind as part of the desired outcome, and also that these goals are on different levels and often conflict. In applying the idea for today, name each situation that occurs to you and then enumerate carefully as many goals as possible that you would like to be met in its resolution. The form of each application should be roughly as follows. In the situation involving blank, I would like blank to happen and blank to happen. And so on. Try to cover as many different kinds of outcomes as may honestly occur to you, even if some of them do not appear to be directly related to the situation, or even to be inherent in it at all. If these exercises are done properly, you will quickly recognize that you are making a large number of demands of the situation which have nothing to do with it. You will also recognize that many of your goals are contradictory, that you have no unified outcome in mind, and that you must experience disappointment in connection with some of your goals, however the situation turns out. Isn't that the case? After covering the list of as many hoped-for goals as possible for each unresolved situation that crosses your mind, say to yourself, I do not perceive my own best interests in this situation, and go on to the next one. I do not perceive my own best interests. Isn't it funny? I mean, if we look back on our lives, I think all of us can see that time and time again we wanted something for whatever reasons. We wanted that to happen and that to happen around a situation, and it didn't happen, and we were disappointed, but then what happened was so much better than we could ever have imagined. So that is truth. I do not perceive my own best interests. In no situation that arises do you realize the outcome that would make you happy. Therefore, you have no guide to appropriate action and no way of judging the result. What you do is determined by your perception of the situation, and that perception is wrong. It is inevitable, then, that you will not serve your own best interests. Yet they are your only goal in any situation which is correctly perceived. Otherwise, you will not recognize what they are. They require much more honesty than you are accustomed to using. A few subjects honestly and carefully considered in each of the 5 practice periods should be undertaken will be more helpful than a more cursory examination of a large number. So keep it simple. Thank you for joining with me. I do not perceive my own best interests. It's funny, the stories that I make, and even now after being in the book, doing this for over a decade now, and I still go right there. Separation. So returning to love. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining with me.